Hello again, Patriots. I am making this video to express my current feelings in regards to the movement. With that said, I would like to jump right in. We as a group, especially if in public, must not do anything to discredit ourselves in any way. This means not talking about any pet theories we have that we cannot prove. No, I'm not saying these theories are wrong. I'm just saying if you make statements about aliens, reptiles, satanic hand gestures, or any other paranormal references, people will instantly stop talking to you about what you are trying to tell them. Instead, try telling people about how their freedoms are being ripped away, about the suspension of habeas corpus, about the abolishment of posse comitatus, about the Federal Reserve Act, about NAFTA and SPP. If people are open-minded enough to ask about more and research these things, suggest for them to research Pearl Harbor, the USS Liberty, the Gulf of Tonkin, and other events in history that may spark enough interest for people to seek more truth. Now, you may have noticed that I did not mention 9/11 in there. This is mainly because people are debating whether or not it was really a false flag attack. I know, without a doubt, that our government had something to do with it, and you may know it too. But the fact remains, there are arguments to counter that, and arguments to counter those arguments, and arguments to counter those arguments, and in the end it just becomes a waste of time. We will not know what happened on 9/11 unless we have access to all the information that the government has on it. The fact they are not giving that information up for scrutiny is a cause for obvious suspicion, however, and we should always demand the truth. With that said, it probably couldn't hurt to ask people what they think happened on September 11th of 2001, and ask questions that could spark interest to look into it. Another note about not being discredited. We can under no circumstance initiate violence. We have to allow for a galvanizing event to happen that will bond us to the people we are willing to fight for. Such an event would be mass gun confiscation, for example. We are the citizens of the United States of America, and we fight for a constitution, not anarchy. Peace is always the best option, and we should seek to restore our rights the conventional way first. We must also not be the reason the government gives for confiscating weapons or initiating martial law. It is our duty to be pacifists, and only act in defense. Every member must keep this in mind, for every member represents us as a whole. Always preach unity, peace, and freedom, and always pursue them. Only when that fails should we seek other means. Now, this doesn't mean don't be prepared. By all means, know survival tactics, know how to fight, know how to shoot. This is all very important, but this should only serve as a last resort, if all else fails. We are all committed to fighting a tyrannical new world order, are we not? So the only thing that is important is that it exists, and it is destroying our sovereignty. Burn a disc for people of all the times that politicians have used the word to prevent the risk of sounding insane. There are plenty of nice montages of this sort on YouTube. Above all, be patient. The people you are trying to convince are constantly being brainwashed by their television to being apathetic, entertained, and ignorant. It may take days or weeks to just show one person that this thing is all about. The hard work put into that one person will pay off. They will be the person you can talk to openly. In addition to this, telling at least 2 other people, and having them tell at least 2 other people, each, sparks an exponential growth of awakening. Once you wake people up, make sure you do not let them go back to sleep. This typically happens if a TV is present and a large amount of time passes. It is your duty to keep finding information and giving it to people until they are fully awake and finding it for themselves. If people forget, remind them. With all that said, thank you for your time and listening. As always, long live freedom and America, Patriots.